As your project evolves and moves through its phases, some workflow templates might become irrelevant. To keep the list of active templates tidy and up to date, you can remove them. There are two options: deletion and deactivation. A deleted template is not available for a new workflow and it cannot be restored. However, don't worry, all workflows created using this template are kept and available in the workflow register. You might want to completely delete a template if it was created for training or test purposes or configured for a process which isn't relevant anymore. For example, it might have been created specifically for one of the subcontractors who has since left the project. A deactivated template is also not available for new workflows. It's hidden from the list of active templates, but can be restored via the inactive templates area. And this is a good option because it allows you to keep a template in the background and reactivate it whenever it's required. Let's see how each action is performed in the system. We select templates from the workflows menu. We can then click the search button to display a full list and refine the results in the search criteria and click the search button again. You'll see a bin icon in the last column against the template name. And we click on that to delete the template. And then we'll need to click OK to confirm. If you need to remove a number of templates, we can just select them and then delete them from the drop-down list under Actions. And again, you'll need to confirm that action. That's how you delete templates. The steps will be exactly the same for drafts and inactive templates. You just need to switch to the relevant tab. To deactivate a template, we select it from the list and click Deactivate under Actions. And this can also be done in bulk as well. Again, you'll need to confirm the action. As mentioned before, you can find all deactivated templates at the Inactive tab. See, they're still available. To activate a template, select the template and click Activate under the Actions drop-down list. You can only delete or deactivate workflow templates within your own organisation. Finally, let's discuss the difference between drafts and inactive templates. Draft templates allow more template details to be edited. With inactive templates, there are fewer options to edit. But there are still things that can be edited, such as workflow outcome, initiator options, completion and transmittal settings, as well as step participants and duration. As an example, you might keep templates as inactive for templates that are set up and ready to go, but it might be too early in the project for them to be activated. Making sure that you keep a list of active templates that are up to date will help to avoid errors and workflows being started by mistake. Each workflow template requires a review status set. This defines what labels reviewers can assign as review outcomes. Those labels are worth thinking about because they affect how you process your documents, significant project milestones, and they might also impact the document status in the register. There are default status sets available in all Aconex projects. Those sets cover general review and approval scenarios, but they may not precisely reflect your project requirements. The project admin can create custom sets for use on different types of workflows. Before we learn how to configure review sets, we need to think about the following. What processes do you currently have in place? Do you distinguish between reviews and approvals? Do you have one process for external reviews or approvals and another for internal ones? Are they any different for technical and non-technical documentation? Then, what is the life cycle of a document within each process? What statuses or milestones does it go through? Do you need the document status to change as a result of the review outcome? Then lastly, how would you order review statuses from less to more influential? That affects how the workflow scenarios are triggered on rejection. We recommend adding review statuses to your process maps. This helps to visualize and define how statuses should be grouped into sets. Once you've thought these things through, you're ready to move on. Review status sets are managed in the Reviews section of Project Settings. This is where you control the review status labels that are available within your project's workflows. You can also change the default set and create new status sets from here. Let's click New Status Set. First, we give the status set a name, and this needs to be unique and should clearly indicate what processes it would be used for. Next, if you want to update the document statuses automatically at the start and end of the workflow, click on the checkbox here. If you choose this option, you'll need to define the status given to a document when it starts going through the workflow. To do this, we just select an option from the Document Status on Entry drop-down list. Next, we can enter up to 6 review status labels, and you can select a predefined label from the list or click into a field and start typing your own label. The labels must be ordered so that the status that has the least influence on the review appears at the top of the list, and the one that has the greatest influence is at the bottom. The colours alongside these labels are used to colour code your Aconex workflow reports. Only the last workflow status, in this case in red, will trigger an if rejected condition, and this can be used to stop a workflow process and return it back to the initiator. All other status labels allow the workflow to continue on to the next step. If you chose to automatically update the document status, you'll need to select a document status to correspond to each review status label you've created, and you can choose these from the drop-down menus beside each review status label. Note that both lists of statuses on workflow entry and completion are defined by project roles you have been assigned. If you think you're missing some values, you'll need to review and update your project roles first. Next, we click Save to save the new status set. Now, once it's been saved, the status set cannot be amended or deleted. If the labels are incorrect, you'll need to create a new set with a different name. New sets don't become available immediately to users creating workflows unless you make them the default. We click on the drop-down list next to the default set label and select your new set, and then we click Save. Now, all users who can create workflow templates will be able to use this set. Our recommendation is to make the default set a generic set that doesn't influence the document status. Changing a document status could be confusing if the team are not used to that happening. The default set is the only one that's available to all project roles by default. For the other review sets, we'll need to set up the project roles accordingly. We open the Mail and Document Role settings in Project Settings, click on the name of the role you want to assign a review set to, select the Review Status Sets tab. We can either double-click on an item to move it across, or select it and then use the arrows. Click OK to save the review sets to this role, and then you can repeat the process for any other roles as needed. If you set them up and assign them correctly, your review and approval processes across the project are much more likely to run in a consistent and compliant way.